The Silver Dome is still buzzing over the debut of Barry Sanders, who has given the Detroit Lions a 10-6 lead with 3:01 to go in the third quarter. A 3-yard touchdown run on his first series. Bob Galliano, the quarterback, who engineered it. The kickoff by Murray. Back deep is Jones and Sikahema. Sikahema at the goal line. Takes it out to the 22-yard line. Keith Karpinski on the stop. It was a 9-play, 90-yard scoring drive, and it was Barry Sanders' 18-yard run that set it up, and tremendous excitement in what has always been a great sports town, Dan, and all they want is a team with enthusiasm and a team that has a chance to win.
Well, they're on a roll, this town. You know, their basketball team didn't do too poorly this year either.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, and Sanders is going to make sure that this Lion football team gives these fans something to cheer. We got a penalty against the Cardinals, so everything's going right for the Lions at this point.
But keep in mind, it's going right, but it's still a close game at 10-6. First down at the 12. Ron Wolfley has been at fullback. Earl Farrell was injured in the first half. Stump Mitchell runs into his own man, and a loss back to the 9. Jerry Holmes. During our timeout, Wayne Fonts came over to talk to his rookie Barry Sanders.
Mitchell on the run. Stopped by Gary Hogeboom.
Encouraging him, telling him what he might do, and of course, as we said before the game, they were going to use him if the game were close, and they couldn't have put him in at a better time.
Well, and Fonts is a motivational type of coach. He knows what he wants to do with his football team, and he gave his team and this crowd a great lift by putting Sanders in the game during that drive.
6 defensive backs in for the Lions on 2nd and 13. Hogeboom, J.T. Smith. Smith tackled at the 19-yard line. Will bring up 3rd and about 4. The one thing that Gene Stallings told us last night, he says the problem will be, can we come from behind? We knew that when we had Neil Lomax, we were able to do it. Not so sure about Gary Hogeboom, so a lot of questions could be answered now.
Well, they are behind, and the great thing about Lomax was that ability. It's an intangible type of thing that you get from a lot of experience. Hogeboom has been in and out, mostly out as a quarterback in this league.
3rd down and 2. And J.T. Smith with another great catch and a first down, getting the Cardinals out of trouble to the 39-yard line. A 19-yard gain. Benny Blades on the stop, and Smith is having a tremendous afternoon.
Well, what he gives Hogeboom is a real safety blanket here. Nice little pick play by the Cardinals as JT gets off inside. This is a great catch, but this is what I like at the very end. He goes head-to-head with Benny Blades and gets the best of it. 33 years old going against a 22-year-old. That's being a real pro.
8 catches for 102 yards today by J.T. Smith. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Cardinals. Hogeboom has Wolfley, and he is down just short of the 45-yard line. As time is running out here in the third quarter. An electrifying third quarter provided by Barry Sanders, the Heisman Trophy winner, who in his NFL debut after signing just the other day scored his first touchdown to give the Lions a lead.
Hogeboom continues to impress me, Dick, because he had a terrible start of this game, missed his first 4, and he's hit almost everything in sight since.
They get off one more play. Stump Mitchell gets into Lion territory and has a first down as the third quarter ends. And that is the end of the third quarter with a score. The Detroit Lions 10, the Phoenix Cardinals 6. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars. And by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft taste. So tap into the cold.
And welcome back to the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, the opening weekend of the NFL campaign. This is Dick Stockton along with Dan Fouts. We begin the fourth quarter with the Lions leading the Cardinals 10-6. 2 field goals by Al Del Greco. Field goal by Ed Murray and Barry Sanders' touchdown run. The story. Meanwhile, a first down for the Cardinals on the Lion 49. Gary Hogeboom up the middle. And J.T. Smith finally doesn't catch one. He's been tremendous all afternoon.
I get a feeling that JT realized that if he makes this grab, he's got some room to run with it afterwards. Sometimes even the old pros take their eye off the ball at the last second. He might have been guilty of that time.
But as a former quarterback, we're all impressed with what Barry Sanders has done to light up the crowd. But Gary Hogeboom has stayed cool, calm. I mean, we have not had a turnover or an interception by him or by the Lions either.
I'm really impressed with the way he's responded to the challenge.
Cincinnati leading Chicago. Tampa Bay had that lead narrowed by Green Bay in the fourth. Second down 10. Stump Mitchell gets a big hole and lost his footing and is short of a first down by less than 2 yards. Mitchell at 30 years of age, and Dan talked about his shoulder surgery, and still the chief back along with Farrell, but certainly a team that without great speed in the backfield.
What they have, though, is a really a never say die attitude. You saw Mitchell crawling for that extra yard, knowing where the chains were, how much he needed to get it, doing everything in his power to get it. He also stepped out of a pretty good tackle by Michael Kofer there. Mitchell may not have the speed he once had, but he still has the quickness, and that's more important.
No one really criticizes the Cardinal offense generally. Pretty potent. 3rd and 3. Crowd waving the white handkerchiefs.
First timeout.
And a timeout called by the Cardinals. That's their first timeout, so each team has 2 timeouts remaining. And Hogeboom goes to the sidelines.
The Subaru Legacy L and the Toyota Camry DLX. Which one is the bigger value? Well, the Subaru Legacy has a lot of standard features the competition doesn't, like more horsepower, power windows and door locks, more rear legroom, and 4-wheel disc brakes. So, comparing the Subaru Legacy and the Camry, it's obvious. The Camry's not even in the picture. See your Subaru dealer for details on the special value lease program.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protecting. Man, what a difference.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Levi's 505 jeans, the zipper fly jeans with a traditional Levi's fit.
Our game summary, Barry Sanders' first NFL touchdown in his debut. Phoenix doing it through the air, 177 yards to 88, and Detroit with a 5-yard rushing average. Our score is 10-6 in favor of the Lions in the first minute of the fourth quarter. And Dan, a lot of electricity here, but the Cardinals seem to me to still be the calm machine offense here.
Well, they're a veteran team. They've got a lot of pride in that team. You know, that offensive line is a tight-knit group. Hogeboom is really doing the job, though.
But Barry Sanders did the job, and he scored on a 3-yard run, but this was his big run of the drive.
First carry as an NFL player, 18 yards, might have gone farther, but he really set the tone for that scoring drive.
3rd down and 3. A couple of guys knocked down, and a few of the Cardinals not liking it very much. Derek Kennard, the center, was hit by Lawrence Pete, the rookie.
Encroachment, the 62. First down.
You know why they call this encroachment instead of offsides? Because of the contact. And there was some contact there. Defense came across. Lawrence Pete.
They called it on Curtis Green. There is Pete, who was a rookie out of Nebraska in the 5th round. Nebraska has supplied a lot of linemen in the NFL. First down and 3 following the penalty. Make it first and 10. First and 10 at the 42. Hogeboom. Awol wide open inside the 20 and a Cardinal first down. The Cardinals are moving now. James Griffin making the stop as Awol, one of the better receiving tight ends, got open.
You know what I like about Awol is he catches the ball with his hands away from his body, very much like a guy I played with who also wore number 80, Kellen Winslow. A lot of confidence in their hands. What that does is it cuts down the amount of time the ball is in the air, even by a split second. Sometimes the difference between a completion and an incompletion.
That was a 19-yard gain. Cardinals on the 18 of the Lions, first down. Mitchell, with a little hesitation, fights his way to the 15. And Dennis Gibson making the stop for the Lions. And by the way, we saw Awol, who had injured ribs. They thought that he was going to wear a flak jacket, does not have one on.
Tough guy. Tight ends got to be tough. They got a lot of different jobs they got to do out there. They got to block against these big linebackers like Kofor, and they got to go down the field and make catches. And Awol, as you said, Dick, is one of the best in the league, and it's only his 3rd year.
And they're well stocked with Jay Novacek backing him up, and they have a rookie, Walter Reeves, who's impressive out of Auburn. So 3 tight ends now for the Cardinals. Second down and 7. Hogeboom. And no flag, incomplete. Pass was intended for Roy Green. And it was Griffin defending on the play.
We're going to see a little bit of contact here from Griffin and Green, but this ball is uncatchable. So ruled by the referee, or it was incidental contact. Both men just got tangled up there, and that's why that one was incomplete.
And of course the rule is, and a lot of people always complain and may not understand it, but if the defensive man is going for the ball, you can have that contact.
He's got as much right as the offensive player to the ball.
Third down and 7 on the 15. Hogeboom gets a rush. Green is there. He's got it. Touchdown, Cardinals. And Gary Hogeboom really showed the Phoenix fans and his teammates something in the face of a big rush. He found Roy Green, who beat his man for the touchdown. It was Jerry Woods defending on the play.
Great job of knowing the blitz is coming by the 2 safeties right up the middle. Wolfley picks up 1, but James Griffin is free on the quarterback. That looks a lot like Neil Lomax to me. That's the type of play that he's made many, many times. Roy Green getting around Jerry Woods for the touchdown.
Al Del Greco looking to give the Cardinals a 3-point lead early here in this 4th quarter. Holding is Hogeboom. The kick is good, and it's now 13-10 in favor of the Phoenix Cardinals. Roy Green has made a living out of catching the big one.
Pure, genuine, never heat pasteurized. A beer that's made unlike any other. Cold filtered to give you the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer. That's the mark of a great beer. So tap into the cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Thousands of years ago, the world was introduced to a vehicle that could hold plenty of cargo and travel in some of the worst weather. This year, history repeats itself. The new 4-wheel drive Subaru Legacy wagon. After thousands of years, man still can't improve the weather, only the way he travels through it. See your Subaru dealer for details on the special value lease program.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Wimbledon's golden boy, Boris Becker, goes gunning after his first U.S. Open title. But can he topple Lendl, the men's final today?
We have had a close game throughout in the season opener for a couple of teams under new eras, really. Gary Hogeboom replacing Neil Lomax, and of course the silver stretch offense for the Lions. Al Del Greco kicking off. Mel Gray at the 5. Changes direction beautifully and is ridden out of bounds by Jay Taylor.
We're going to take a look at the touchdown to Roy Green on the chalkboard. This is Bruce McNorton on the blitz, and this is James Griffin on the blitz. Watch Wolfley come in, pick up one of them. But Griffin is free on the quarterback, and Hogeboom just does a super job of laying this one out for Roy Green, Mr. Reliable, in the end zone.
There's Roy Green with a 15-yard touchdown reception. Both Green and Smith over 30 years of age and still great threats as wideouts for the Cardinals. 1st and 10 at the 34. Barry Sanders in the game at running back for the Lions, who now trail by 3. Inside handoff to Mel Gray. Gray gets beyond the 40. First time that play has been run today, and a pickup of nearly 5 yards.
Once a fellow like Gray and Sanders gets comfortable with this offense, with their ability to run with the ball in the open field, there's going to be a lot of excitement generated by this run and shoot.
Bob Galliano is going to be getting married soon. This is a big time for him, with a chance to lead the Lions. 2nd down and 4 at the 41 of the line. Sanders. Here he goes. And pushed out of bounds by Mack. 26 yards that time for Barry Sanders.
Cardinals have done a great job of stopping the run up in the middle, but they haven't faced this type of speed. Sanders wanted to go inside, bounces it out to the outside. There's no contain, and then watch his speed getting down the sidelines. This tells me that he did a great job of preparing himself physically for this season. I mean, he's been out of camp, only has had one practice in a mini camp back a couple months ago. He looks in great shape.
He has averaged 11 yards per carry in his first game, first time in pads. Tony Page replaces him in the backfield. 1st and 10 on the Cardinal 34. Galliano completes to Robert Clark. Clark inside the 25 has another 1st down. Defending was Carl Carter and Jay Taylor.
You know, they wanted to set up the run with the pass. That's the premise for this run and shoot. But what they're doing today is very traditional football. They're running the ball well first, and now Galliano's completing a couple of passes.
Which is what's interesting about the formation, because you think they're going to throw to set up the run, and they go the traditional way, but you still have those 2 wideouts and the 2 slot men.
And it's still superior personnel that makes the difference, and that's Barry Sanders.
1st and 10 at the 23. 3 seconds on the clock. They better hurry. And they just got it off in time. The pitch to Page. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. Another Lion 1st down. It was Carl Carter and Tim McDonald that time. 14 more yards.
Now this is an audible by Galliano. He sent about 4 guys in motion. This is just the old option play. Takes a great lick from Freddie Joe Nunn. But then it's all Tony Page stepping up inside and taking this ball down inside the 10. Great audible call, though, by Galliano that time. Saw the weakness in the defense and got the right play call.
3 straight 1st downs by the Lions. Sanders is back in there. First and goal at the 9. Here's Sanders, and Clasby grabs a hold of him and doesn't let go as Sanders gets to the 5, a gain of 4. We have not had this kind of excitement here in years. Lions have had a rich football tradition. They've also had their bottomless well moments. They're coming off one of those, but they're definitely coming off for sure.
Well, the owner is standing up giving an ovation, a standing ovation to one of his ball players. You don't see that very often in the NFL. His money, Mr. Ford's money, is well spent, I gotta believe.
Reviving the thrills that Billy Sims gave these fans. Sims wore the same number, of course. Second down. Sanders. He'll lose this time. And great pursuit by the Cardinals. Tim McDonald coming up from strong safety. And that'll be third down and goal. And McDonald, who had a rough start. He came from the West Coast, wasn't happy to be drafted by the Cardinals, broke his ankle in his first year, and has come to enjoy his status as the best player in the secondary on this team.
And captain of the defensive football team, an honor voted by his teammates. Only his third year. That's a great honor.
Third and goal at the 6. They spread the offense. Clark wide to the right. Galliano to Clark. Incomplete. Good coverage that time by Jay Taylor. Rookie from San Jose State. He was all over Robert Clark. That'll bring up fourth down, and Eddie Murray will come in to try to tie the game.
Jay Taylor's the shortest of the Phoenix defensive backs at 5'9". Clark, not much taller at 5'11", but that's wonderful coverage. Oh, you just can't get any better than that.
So Arnold will be holding for Murray, who kicked a 30-yard field goal to give the Lions their initial lead of the game. This is to tie. And the kick is good. 23-yard field goal by Ed Murray. He was called Ed in college. Now they call him Eddie. Normally they go the other way around. In any event, we have a 13-13 game.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. The heart of the Rams defense in the 60s was found in their defensive line. Hall of Famer Merlin Olsen, number 74, and Roosevelt Greer, number 76, closed down the running game, while defensive ends Lamar Lundy, number 85, and Hall of Fame member David Deacon Jones, number 75, stormed the pass pocket. Individually, they were great. Together as teammates, they were the fearsome foursome and the best they can be.
Most of my friends don't know what they're going to do after graduation, but I've already locked in guaranteed skill training in the Army. Qualify now and you can reserve even the Army's most sought-after technical training up to 12 months in advance through the Army's delayed entry program. Sure, being a soldier won't be easy, but then nothing worth having ever is.
Wednesday, a CBS world premiere movie. A good cop set up to take a fall.
It was supposed to be you, Wolf.
And marked for murder.
I'm gonna take you down, you dirtbag.
Jack Scalia is Wolf, trying to build a new life. If he can survive his old one.
You're a dead man, Wolf.
Wolf, Wednesday.
Get ready. You could win a Plymouth Voyager instantly. Just watch CBS to match the number on your Kmart newspaper circular. The CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway starts September 17th. I'm ready. He's ready.
8 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, and the Lions and the Cardinals are all knotted up at 13-13. And for that man, Eddie Murray, that was his 13th consecutive field goal, which is the longest current streak in the National Football League. It is also a new Detroit Lion record.
Been a great kicker for a great number of years also. It's unusual for a kicker to stay with the same team for a long time, and Eddie Murray, you know, he's been here a bunch of years.
Yes, Rich Camarillo and those people.
Yeah.
By Sikahema on the 6. Out past the 25 to the 28-yard line. Victor Jones. Earl Farrell on crutches with a sprained ankle. Okay, out of the game in the second quarter, Dan.
You know, you look at a guy's face and you can pretty much tell when they're getting taped up or something on the sidelines or getting looked at by the doctors and trainers. You can tell by looking at the expression on a player's face that just how he's feeling, and that didn't look very good for Earl Farrell.
Benny Blades went out of the game, had x-rays on his neck with the collision with J.T. Smith. He has made 10 tackles in this game. Lions are pleased he's back in there. First down on the 28. Play fake. Intercepted by William White. Lions ball. It was off Awalt's hands. And William White with the first turnover of the game.
Hogeboom throws this ball behind Awalt. He wanted to get it to him right now, but White had good coverage. Now he just gets it behind him a little bit too much, and that's really just being unlucky. You've heard of interceptions that are unlucky, but Awalt, if he wasn't trying very hard, that ball wouldn't have been intercepted. He could have just let it go by, and there would have been no interception, but he was trying to make the catch, tipped it up in the air, and White was there for the pick.
First career interception. Hogeboom threw it, and William White made it. He replaces Devon Mitchell, the free safety who was let go by the Lions. First and 10 on the Lion 48. Barry Sanders, the running back. Play fake. Freddie Joe Nunn giving chase. Galliano is pushed out of bounds at the 49 of the Cardinals. We have 7:46 remaining in the fourth quarter here at the Silverdome. Both teams are aching for a victory on opening day. The Cardinals, after having lost their last 5 last year, after they were in first place, and the Lions, who are trying to restore the roar, and they've done that today.
And I keep getting the feeling from the Cardinals is that what's going to happen to us next? They lost 3 games in the preseason on the very last play of each of those games, and now they're in a real dogfight. Now the game is tied. The Lions have got momentum. They got Barry Sanders in there. The Cardinals have got to be wondering a little bit about their own fortunes.
And the Lions also have Eddie Murray.
And a timeout for the Lions. Again, down on that 30-second clock.
Second timeout.
And that can be tough in a
40-second timeout.
Close game. The Lions now have only 1 timeout left, and in a close game, you never want to be left with just one. Coming up next on CBS Sports, it's the men's final of the U.S. Open Tennis Championship. Top-seeded Yvonne Lendl against Boris Becker, the second-seeded player. 1 against 2. That's the way it should be.
Well, that's good seeding, isn't it? I mean, the guys that make the seeds, they picked it right this time. Should be an outstanding final.
Becker has always had problems on the U.S. Open court. Lendl has always dominated there, but we'll see what happens today. San Francisco in front. Rams have stretched their lead against Atlanta. Cincinnati and Chicago, anyone's game in the third quarter at Soldier Field, and a close one in Lambeau Field.
A lot of good games so far today. A lot of excitement around the league.
By the way, we understand the Cowboys have gained only 8 yards rushing through 3 quarters.
Where's Herschel?
They're really relying on Troy's arm today, huh?
Wow.
Second down and 7 on the Cardinal 49. I wonder whether they're going to call Jason Phillips for drawing the Cardinals offside.
I think that our center, Kevin Glover, down there for the Lions, didn't snap the ball when he was supposed to. He had everybody moving except the ball to the quarterback.
False start on the center.
That's it.
Second down, number 53.
You got it.
How can they call false start when he's the only guy that didn't start, though?
He would say it's a true start. It's the only one.
Yeah, I got the ball, fellas. When I hike the ball, then we play. But nobody's going anywhere till I hike.
10 penalties assessed against the Lions
I used to just tell the center, bend over and shut up.
Well, you could do it. You backed it up.
Sometimes.
Second down, 12 now. Back to the 46 of the Lions. Barry Sanders. What impressed me on that run is the way he protected the ball. The Lions, the Cardinals were trying to jar it loose. Ken Harvey made the stop at the 47 of Phoenix.
We talked about Sanders' thighs. Well, he's got great strength in those thighs. Watch him pull out of this tackle from Freddie Joe Nunn. Great cutback, and now the strength of those big thighs pulls away from one of the better tacklers and better athletes in the game.
He has carried 8 times for 66 yards and has outgained the entire Phoenix rushing corps. And we're talking about some heavy hitters in Farrell and Mitchell. 3rd and 4. Galliano with time. And the pass is dropped by Jason Phillips, the rookie from Houston. And that'll bring up 4th down. The look says it all for Galliano.
Well, it really does. 3rd down, you've got to convert it. It's not that easy to do. You got to get great pass protection for your quarterback. Quarterback's got to read the defense and deliver the ball. The receiver's job, simple, catch it. Lions having trouble doing that today.
Jim Arnold will be kicking it away with exactly 7 minutes to go. Sikahema goes deep. Here's Jim Arnold. Both punters have been superb this afternoon. Camarillo in his debut with the Cardinals. And Arnold. Good kick, high kick. That's what he wanted. But the Lions can't keep it in bounds as the ball bounds away. A 46-yard bunt kick, and Arnold didn't like the way that rolled. Well, Saturday kicks off another season of college football action on CBS Sports. Boy, 2 teams that scored tremendous upsets and victories in their first game.
Well, Jeff George really led the Illini back against USC with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. But Colorado looks like they're back as a force in the Big 8.
With Oklahoma and Oklahoma State currently on probation, the Buffaloes will battle Nebraska perhaps for a Big 8 Orange Bowl ticket. So college football action starts at 2:30 Eastern next Saturday here on CBS Sports. See what Gary Hogeboom and the Cardinals do. With 6:48 to go in the 4th. Stump Mitchell gets ahead of steam and rambles out beyond the 30 for a 1st down. Tackled by Jimmy Williams, the linebacker. That's a good start for Phoenix.
Well, Phoenix would like nothing more than about a 6-minute drive here of 80 yards. Use up all the clock, get their kicker either in field goal range or take it all the way in.
Gene Stallings is a ball control coach, even though he knows he has 2 outstanding wide receivers. 1st down and 10 at the 31. Mitchell again. And he powers out for 5 more yards to the 36-yard line. That time it was Keith Ferguson, the defensive end.
What Stallings has done is he's told the offensive line, hey, listen, I'm going to trust you guys to win this ball game for us right now. We're not going to do anything fancy. We may throw a few possession type of passes, but it's up to you guys on 1st down to get me 5 or 6 yards. And they're running left behind Todd Pete and Luis Sharp.
2nd down and 5 at the 36. Fake and Hogeboom under pressure completes to Ewald. And Ewald is hung up by Griffin, won't get to midfield, but has more than enough for a 1st down for the Cardinals. A gain of 12 yards. Ewald has been open on virtually every occasion this afternoon, has 4 catches for 65 yards.
And he really showed me that he's a heady ball player also. He knows that at this point they do not want to run out of bounds and stop that clock. They want to keep that clock rolling, and right now they're about at the 5-minute mark. He knew he had enough for the 1st down. No need to struggle for more yards. It's more important to let the clock run out now.
And hold on to the ball. 1st down for the Cardinals on their 48. Benny Blades, by the way, is out of the game again. James Griffin has been in there. Quick toss to Roy Green, incomplete, and he was hit hard by Holmes. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Boy, one thing you can't do as a quarterback is hesitate on a quick hitch to the outside like that. Holmes got the read on Hogeboom, and he almost came up with the interception there.
With Terry Taylor acquired from Seattle to shore up the cornerback position for the Lions, Holmes moved from left to the right side. William White, who has the only interception of the game, and so it looks like the Lions secondary, anchored by Benny Blades, who's out of action right now, has been improved. Time remaining. Hogeboom, Roy Green dropped it. He looked like one of the Lion receivers there, one of the young ones.
Now it appears that Hogeboom may have thrown this ball into coverage, but it was right on the money. The receiver, of course, has got to make this grab. It's a double zone to this side, but Green did a nice job of getting inside, and Hogeboom throws a wonderful pass. That should have been caught.
Taylor, part of that coverage.
He's looking for the ball. It ain't in your hands, Terry. I know that for a fact.
3rd down and 10. Cardinals on their 48. Novacek in motion. Hogeboom's pass knocked away, and a great defensive play by James Griffin. James Griffin broke it open, and Hogeboom had his man, Ernie Jones, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Defensive backs must run in the Griffin family. James's brother is Don for the 49ers, so they've got some talented brothers there in that family.
Rich Camarillo will kick for the 4th time. Mel Gray goes deep for the Lions. Good kick. Fair catch. Gray fields it at the 9. So with 4:25 remaining in this 4th quarter, the Lions and the Silver Stretch come out for what could be one last shot to try to get Eddie Murray in position to win or even score a touchdown. It's been back and forth like a chess game.
Back and forth. We just had the feeling after Awalt's reception there that the Cardinals were in great shape. They were at midfield. They only needed to go maybe 20 yards or so to get Del Greco in field goal range. They didn't get it done because the Lions came up with some big plays defensively.
Galliano, looking at those numbers, is still only 2 of 10 since the 1st quarter.
But I got to wonder how many balls has he had dropped today? Quite a few.
Plenty. 1st and 10 on the 9-yard line.
That's a half a wave.
Those kids can move up. There's some empty seats. Join the crowd. Here's Gray on the inside handoff. Freddie Joe Nunn slowed him up, and the rest of them clamped down in a gain of about a yard that time. Nunn first, and then it was Jim Waller, the rookie from UCLA. Remember, the Lions have only 1 timeout left.
Freddie Joe Nunn used to play linebacker before they converted him. There he is, number 78 on the left side of the screen in a stand-up position. He's going to just get a little piece of towel here. That's all he gets from Mel Gray. But he's really having a heck of a workout this afternoon trying to stop some of these fellas.
That's all he wanted.
Look at the blue paint on top of his helmet. You know he's been in there head knocking.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 11. Galliano's pass. Incomplete. It was intended for Troy Johnson. So it's 3rd down and 11. So Wayne Fonts has a problem here. Bad field position. 3rd down, and could be looking at the Cardinals getting the ball around midfield if he doesn't get it here.
Yeah, they have done well, though, throughout the game in 3rd down situations. In fact, it seemed like in that first drive that they had, that was the only play that they were successful on. This, to say the least, is the biggest 3rd down play they'll have all day.
Time remaining, 3:37. Harvey is showing blitz. Barry Sanders leaps the line, and he's going to be short of a 1st down as he stopped at the 15. It was Cedric Mack who came up from cornerback to make the tackle, so it'll be 4th down. With the clock running, nearly 3 minutes to go. Barry Sanders with a touchdown and the longest run of the day in his debut. But the Lions now have to think of stopping the Cardinals. Jim Arnold will kick from the goal line, and Vi Sikahema goes back. Arnold has, well, look at the numbers. 52-yard average. Only 2 punts. No, he's had more than 2. We'll check it. There's another beauty. Fair catch called for by Sikahema at the 45 of Phoenix, but it's good field position. Another great kick by Jim Arnold. 13-13 in the 4th quarter. The Cardinals looking to win it here with 2:45 remaining, and they have 2 timeouts remaining. We'll bring you up to date on other scores around the league, and this is the first weekend of the NFL season.
What a game there. You got to wonder about the Dallas Cowboys under their new coach. Still looking for their first score.
San Francisco, the defending champions. That was a tough opener against the Colts, and it's still up for grabs. Meanwhile, it's 1st down for the Cardinals on their 45. Pitch to Stump Mitchell. Stop for no gain.
Boy, both teams have become real conservative in this fourth quarter now. Not willing to throw the ball down the field, looking for field position, looking to work on that clock now.
Second down and 10.
Hogeboom's going to milk every bit of this 30-second clock now. In fact, he's going to let it run down to the 2-minute warning.
Nothing more that Gary Hogeboom with his college friends would like today than to engineer a victory in his first start with the Cardinals. He's a native of Grand Rapids, Michigan, went to Central Michigan before he was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. And the 2-minute warning, and there's the section where the Hogeboom crowd is hoping he can pull out a victory.
The Subaru Legacy L and the Toyota Camry DLX. Which one is the bigger value? Well, the Subaru Legacy has a lot of standard features the competition doesn't, like more horsepower, power windows and door locks, more rear legroom, and 4-wheel disc brakes. So, comparing the Subaru Legacy and the Camry, it's obvious. The Camry's not even in the picture. See your Subaru dealer for details on the special value lease program.
Genuine draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Now, what about the Stanton judgment? Tough case?
We won it.
Nice work.
I had a great team.
Bet you she gets a great raise, too. Our next junior partner should be getting some good financial counsel. Call my Prudential broker.
Rock solid.
At Prudential Bates, rock solid means an all-star team behind you, armed with the strength and resources to win.
So, big gun make you a partner yet? Bang.
Prudential Bates Securities, rock solid, market-wise.
2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of a tie game, the Cardinals and the Lions. But the Cardinals have the ball, and they have it in good field position. The 45-yard line, their own 45. Keep in mind that Al Del Greco's career long field goal, 51 yards. So you would have to figure he needs 21 yards to set that situation up.
And he hasn't done very well this preseason. 0 for 3 from 40 yards and longer.
He's 2 for 2 today, but they were short ones. Second down and 10 at the 45. Hogeboom completes to Smith to midfield. It'll create a 3rd and 5 now.
The other problem facing the Lions at this time, if they do get the ball back, and when they get the ball back, they will only have 1 timeout to work with.
Gary Hogeboom, we talked to his dad yesterday when we went over to the Cardinals hotel.
Well, we saw all the fans in the stands. He's the first guy I've ever heard of getting a standing ovation in a hotel lobby. There were that many people waiting for him when he got to the hotel yesterday.
That's right. We had to run out of our room to see. 3rd down and 4. Big play. Hogeboom completes it to J.T. Smith, and a first down for the Cardinals to the Lion 35. A big pass on 3rd down. Dennis Gibson on the stop. The clock will run down to a minute to go, and J.T. Smith with a 15-yard gain, having a brilliant opening contest of the year with 10 catches for 121 yards.
And Wayne Fonts told us that he wasn't worried about J.T. Smith beating him because he's going to get his receptions. Well, I got news for Coach Fonts. Right now, J.T. Smith is the guy responsible for the situation we're in now.
1st and 10 on the 35. Stump Mitchell gets a couple. And it was Jimmy Williams who got him from behind. Now with 29 seconds to go, the Cardinals will use 1 of their 2 remaining timeouts.
They got some talking to do on that sidelines. We've got to get a little bit closer, they got to be telling themselves. They got to get Del Greco comfortably another 10 yards or so.
Right now, it would be a 50-yard attempt. And we told you that his longest in history was 51, but you don't want to just play it through as long as you'd like to give him a little bit better opportunity here.
Yeah, you don't want to hit that 2-iron to the green. You want to, take the wedge out or something. Give me a chip shot.
There is Del Greco, who is working with Camarillo. Hogeboom has been his holder throughout this afternoon, and for Wayne Fonts, he would like to keep the Cardinals right where they're at.
Yeah, it's fingernail time for Wayne Fonts. He knows that the clock is against him, that it's up to his defense, the defense he was once the coordinator of, to stop the Cardinals.
It was a field goal battle at the half, 6-3 in favor of the Cardinals. Barry Sanders scored a touchdown to give the Lions a 10-6 lead. And then Roy Green on a 15-yard touchdown reception gave Phoenix a 3-point lead before Eddie Murray tied it up, and that's where we're at. 2nd down and 8 on the Lion, 33. Hogeboom under some pressure, completes to Wolfley out of the backfield. He stays in bounds, and Wolfley gets inside the 15 and close to the 10-yard line. The stop made by Jerry Holmes, and a big play there by Hogeboom. Found the man out of the backfield for 22 yards.
Well, they went from the 2-iron to the wedge. They're in great shape now. William White, number 35, comes within a fingernail of knocking this ball down. But Wolfley makes the grab, stays in bounds, and gets as much as he can, covers up the ball, and now the Cards are in great shape.
A timeout has been called by Phoenix. And it's a 40-second injury timeout, and it's a charge timeout in the last 2 minutes. Is that right? I believe so.
Yes, it is. But all that really matters is that the Cardinals have got Del Greco in position where he's got a field goal of about, what's that, 20 yards or so, huh? Maybe 30.
Well, he has kicked 2 today from 29 and 23 yards. Is Gene Stallings, protege of Tom Landry at Dallas. His buddy Landry is gone from the scene now. Nothing fancy, that's for sure. It'll be 1st and 10.
This man feels every loss, every win. I mean, this is a coach that the old emotions are on the sleeve.
Do you remember last year when Butler kicked the field goal for the Bears to beat him and the
at Soldier Field? Yeah, he was on one knee. Head sinks into his hands. He's got that sinking feeling right now as Del Greco's going for the winner.
28-yard attempt. Hogeboom will hold, 17 seconds to go. And now Hogeboom is running in, yelling for time. A delay of the game penalty. But Gary Hogeboom is steamed.
Well, I'm not sure that they gave him enough warning that the clock was running down, or that the clock was started when at the proper time. But this changes things a bit. This moves it back 5 yards. This is no longer that chip shot. Del Greco's got to drive it through from 33 now. Interesting that they're going for the field goal with 17 seconds left to go.
Perfect from that distance a year ago. The game on the line. And the kick is good, and the Cardinals have taken the lead. 33-yard field goal by Al Del Greco, and Phoenix jumps in front 16-13 on Al Del Greco's 3rd field goal of the game. And what's left for Wayne Fonts and the Detroit Lions? 13 seconds left.
Down in position for the winning field goal. Great pass to Wolfley. Hogeboom had an outstanding day.
And you know what? He didn't play. He played within himself. He didn't try to extend, even though he has some wide receivers. It was a very controlled offensive attack by Hogeboom, and you have to execute. Here is the field goal that gives the Cardinals the lead.
Good snap, perfect hold by Hogeboom, and Del Greco drives it through. And he made his coach a very happy man.
Gene Stallings, and he can talk all he wants about who cares about last year's 5-game losing streak at the end. Everyone thinks about it and knows about it, and nothing will erase it better than a victory here in this opener.
And the only time he ever thought about it is when people like us who kept reminding him of it.
Just 5 times yesterday.
They may be 1-0 now.
Del Greco will kick off, and Mel Gray, who's dangerous, will be back for the Lions. 13 seconds remain. Cardinals 16, the Lions 13. There's Gray. Well, he's going to give a chance. This is going to be Woods at the 7. Fumbles. Cardinals may have it. They do. Fumble. And the Phoenix Cardinals have recovered at the 21-yard line as Jerry Woods, rookie from Northern Michigan, fumbles the kickoff. And the hit made by Eric Hill, the #1 pick by the Cardinals. And that is all she wrote. And for the Phoenix Cardinals, a hard, tough victory, but it'll be a victory on the road. And coming up next, it'll be Yvonne Lendl and Boris Becker in the men's final of the U.S. Open. 8 seconds remain, and they'll just run it out. And Dan, the Lions have restored the roar. Barry Sanders is going to bring people back to this place for sure.
Yes, he has. And this was a hard-fought victory for the Phoenix Cardinals.
But it's a victory in a tough division, well earned. And Gary Hogeboom, a star today.
He really was. He performed when he had to, brought the Cardinals to a point where they won the game.
Well, he did it in front of the home folks. Not quite perhaps in Grand Rapids, but he did it. Barry Sanders with a sterling debut, but it's the Phoenix Cardinals who defeat the Detroit Lions 16-13 here at the Silverdome.
You know, baseball cards are real popular these days. For one Ron Say, I can get a whole case of my favorite beer, Miller Lite. I don't want some watered-down minor league version of a regular beer. I want the less filling beer that tastes great.
Hey, Ace! Give me 2 cases, you can have this baby.
Dream on.
1 case. Nope, a 6-pack. Half a can?
The big league light beer, Miller Lite, where less filling tastes great.
Okay, I'll give you 2 cases, and you don't have to take the card. But that's my final offer. Must have a couple of mine already. All right.
Whoa.
Well, along with Irv Cross, I'm Brent Musburger. We welcome those of you who watched the Rams beat the Atlanta Falcons today, and those of you who saw the exciting game between Phoenix and Detroit. And Irv, I'll tell you, the Cardinals did some homework. They weren't kicking off to Barry Sanders. They wanted no part of him.
You don't want him to touch the ball at any time. He's really an exciting player. And remember now, he's not really in great shape yet. I mean, he's in decent condition, but, you know, it's going to take him 2 or 3 weeks to really get in stride.
Yeah, for those of you who watched the Rams win the final, there was 16-13. The Cardinals with a Del Greco field goal with 17 seconds to go win it by 3. And for those of you who watched Phoenix and Detroit, the Rams final was 31-21. Now, we have some great tennis action coming your way. A lot of us have looked forward to this final between Yvonne Lendl and Boris Becker, a couple of the hardest hitters in men's tennis today. And for a preview of that, let's send you out to the tennis center now, and Tim Ryan. Tim?
We're live, standing on the stadium court at the National Tennis Center, Flushing Meadow, New York, awaiting the men's championship final. Yvonne Lendl, a 3-time champion, against this year's Wimbledon champ Boris Becker. Conditions are not great for these 2 young men. 93 degrees, and a thermometer at courtside indicates 115 on this hard surface that reflects the heat right through the tennis shoes of these players today. So conditions will be demanding at least for the first hour and a half of the match. I'm Tim Ryan here at the National Tennis Center. The players will be on the court in about 15 or 20 minutes time. There's a gusting breeze here that will help to cool the players, but it will also make things difficult in terms of ball toss and lobs, etc. during the course of the match. Let's go upstairs now to the men who will be calling the match and the women. Pat Summerall, Tony Trabert, and Mary Carrillo.
All right, Tim and Tony, what about conditioning? Who's in the best shape?
Well, I think they're both in great shape, Pat. Yvonne Lendl works extremely hard off the court, but Boris Becker has been training very, very hard. They're going to feel this heat without question. I think what they'll probably start doing is going to the net a little bit more as the match goes on to get make the points that last a shorter period of time. It's going to be a tough day to play.
Mary, Yvonne Lendl was out here late yesterday afternoon. What kind of an effect will that have on him?
I don't think it'll make too much of a difference, honestly, Pat. As he said, he's going to have about 20 hours rest because the final starts so late. I think that if Yvonne is worried about anything, it's that he doesn't like playing once the sun goes down. He doesn't seem to feel he can see the ball as well at night. So I think that's more of a problem for Yvonne than anything.
Right now, let's go down and check with Leslie Visser.
Thanks, Pat. I'm down here with someone who played in this heat, Aaron Crickstein, who played Boris Becker yesterday. Aaron, how hot is it down here, and what is the effect of the heat?
Well, I think it's very hot. I'm from Florida, so I was used to it yesterday, but I believe the heat, if it is really hot down here, will actually help Lendl. But then again, you know, it's late in the afternoon, and I think at this time it really won't be a factor.
Why does it help Ivan Lendl?
Well, I think he's the fittest player on the tour, and I think Becker really relies on his big first serve and his net game. And I think Lendl's fit, you know, ability to play, you know, in the long matches will help him.
You once said that Lendl never plays a bad match. Is that who you probably think will win today?
Yeah, I think we got a great matchup today. We got number 1 and 2 players in the world, and then couldn't ask for a better final. But I think in the end, unless Becker has a great day serving, it's going to be Lendl in 4.
That's great. Thanks, Aaron. Over to you, Tim.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Well, a lot of anticipation here at the National Tennis Center, and we'll have that matchup coming on CBS Sports. Right now, let's return you to Brent Musburger.
Irv, you like Boris Becker a little bit in that one.
Well, how about the big guy, Lendl? You know, you're going to go with Lendl, and so am I.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You got to ride with the big horse, don't you? Let's take everybody back down to the scoreboard and show them some highlights of the action today. Really an impressive first game for the New Orleans Saints at home, 28-0. Now the Cowboys. I think the storyline with the Cowboys, we should be honest about, they had to sell some tickets down there for that man, Jimmy Jones. So they really threw it all at everybody in the preseason. But in the process, the New Orleans Saints were able to scout somebody like Troy Aikman. And when you open a game against a veteran coaching staff, they can really hone in on you. And I think that's what they did. They were awfully impressive today.
Well, the special teams broke down as well, too. I mean, the Cowboys did. The Saints, on the other hand, were playing heads-up football. Shepard going in for a 56-yard punt return there. And, you know, the Saints just kept pouring it on.
And the Saints go up to play the Green Bay Packers. That might be a little bit tougher than you might expect. The Packers came back a little bit on the Buccaneers today. Both the Buccaneers and the Packers could be improved teams. Meanwhile, speaking of teams that could get back to the Super Bowl, how about the performance today by the San Francisco 49ers over Indianapolis, 30-17, and really the noise didn't make a bit of difference today.
No problem. You're not going to shake up a veteran team like San Francisco. Roger Craig trots in from 1 yard out for his first touchdown of the day.
And how about this instant replay reversal here? Chris Chandler going to Billy Brooks. The officials on the field said down at the 1. They took another look at it, and they said touchdown. And that was about all they needed to get going. The Colts rallied and looked like they were going to make it close. There's a landmark for Eric Dickerson. In 91 games, he has reached 10,000 yards. Oh, here's the backbreaker.
Boy, here it is. Montana to Rice. No matter how you do it, whether it's a quick post or a deep pattern or a drag coming across the middle like this guy gets in the end zone. It's terrific.
All right, and so San Francisco will roll to their first win, as the Rams did, 31-21 over Atlanta. And that's the final there, despite a 68-yard touchdown run by one Deion Sanders on a punt return. Yes, hot at the U.S. Open and hot down south in Atlanta, too, Irv. And here it is.
Here's that Deion Sanders punt return you're talking about. Now, you can imagine now, he just reported to camp a couple of days ago, and all he did in practice yesterday was run around in shorts, and this is the first day he's put on shoulder pads. He has 4.25 speed in the 40, and he demonstrates that ability right there as he sort of jogs into the end zone, sort of teasing the defense. What a great athlete.
Hey, Jim Everett is supposed to be a passer, not a runner.
Well, I think he's running for his life here. The passing game broke down, and Jim was simply trying to find a spot to gain yards. He wound up in the end zone for the touchdown.
You know, you're going to have to stop the running game, and those who run best of all are going to make it to the Super Bowl. And Neil Anderson this afternoon in Chicago has carried 21 times for 146 yards, and he has paced this Bear comeback. And now, with time running out, they lead the Cincinnati Bengals 17-14, and it appears as though Iron Mike will come away with a win now. There's a little over a minute, about a minute and a half left in that game between the Bears and the Bengals. Tampa Bay and Green Bay, 23-21. And Irv, your observations on one Vinny Testaverde in that game?
Well, I think he's really coming of age. You know, he finished his preseason this year on a strong note against Cleveland, and he read defenses very well today. It was hot today. He just seems to have his game under control now, Brent. What he needed was a year to be able to get some experience on his belt in reading defenses. He's doing it very well now.
Other than Hugh Culverhouse, I guess the richest spectator was that man, Tony Mandridge, who was watching from the Green Bay sideline. And here's Testaverde under pressure, steps up and drops it off beautifully to William Howard for the touchdown. And there was some defense in this game, too.
Well, Perkins said that these Tampa Bay Buccaneers now are his kind of guys. This is what he's talking about. Mark Robinson picks off a Mikowski pass here to stop that Green Bay drive. And the Buccaneers are just playing good heads-up football, Brent.
despite the fact that the Packers were the first team to score a touchdown on this opening Sunday this afternoon. Phoenix and Detroit, one that wound down just a short time ago, and it was won by a Cardinal field goal. 16-13 was the final in that game, but the one player we want to show you is this man wearing Billy Sims' number. Here comes Barry Sanders.
Boy, what a great player to watch. Of course, he only played in the second half because, you know, he reported to camp late. Here he scampers up there his first run of the day for an 18-yard gain. Later, he goes in for a touchdown, Brent. But, you know, he signed 2 contracts with Detroit. One for all of that money everybody knows about, and the second was with his mother. He said to Mom, I'm going to go back to school and finish my education during the lifetime of this contract. Del Greco right there, hitting the winning field goal to win it for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and Gary Hogeboom threw for 264 yards for the Cardinals. Del Greco kicking 3 field goals to win it, and it is 16-13. Coming up next, the U.S. Open men's final.
In 13 cities and 10 countries across the Pacific, they're playing our song. United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve, halfway around the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
When you look for champions, you look to CBS Sports.
I love a good mystery.
I love to shop.
I try to catch killers using my wits.
Oh, that's nothing. I try to look good on a budget.
Tim Reed and Daphne Maxwell Reader Snoops premieres September 22nd.
This is CBS.